How to get clients. So many people come to me and ask me, Ivy, where do I find my clients? How do I get them? And then I ask them, well, who is it that you're looking for? And they never know how to answer. One of the most primary reasons why you're not getting clients is because you don't know how to get them, because you don't know who they are. We need to first know who they are. I'm going to share a screen with you. I'm going to share the simplest way to do this. In order to be found and in order to convert clients, you need to understand your clients. And if you don't know who they are, how are you even going to understand them? So the first thing to ever go through in your business is to figure out your positioning. And the easiest way to position yourself is by niching. And I know you hate this, but use it as a strategy and not anything else. Allow this to focus your efforts so that you can actually get the clients that you so dearly want. All right, so let's go through it. How to get clients. First, you want to know who they are, what they do, and where they are. If you can answer these questions, absolutely brilliant. If not, have a moment and just think about it. And when we really think about niche, there's so many different ways you can niche. And I'm going to name them all and give you a little bit of an example. So you can niche by style. If you're a photographer, if you're an illustrator, it's very likely you'll be niching by style. The more towards art and less problem solving it does, the more it's going to be a very subjective opinion. So you're wanting to niche to style so that the people who really resonate with what you do and how you do it are going to be attracted to you. You can niche by industry. You can niche by geography. So industry would be skincare. Geography would be London-based artists. Skill would be what you're really good at. So the service you provide. So skill and service, they go kind of together. You can also do it by demographic. You can also do it by value. Value is probably the hardest one to niche to because it becomes rather broad messaging. And yet you need to find the accountant that has the same value as the one that creates eco-friendly blankets for babies. So very different services and products, but united in a value. That is harder, but it is very doable. The way I like to simplify niching is when we put three of these things together. So you want to cluster the niche itself becomes the service you provide, the industry you provide it for, and then you add a bit of a characteristic to differentiate it. So for example, I'll take myself as an example. I provide business coaching specializing in sales. So let's just call it sales coaching. I provide sales coaching for the industry of brand designers. And the characteristic that is important to me in this scenario is that they're women. I've been in this for a while, so I've actually niched up a little bit. So don't do that until you have a significant amount of leads coming through and you're content with the revenue that you're getting. Ultimately, we want things to be easy for you. If you can be more specific, you'll be able to position yourself as the one person to think of in that industry. When I started off, I actually was a lot more niche than this. I talked about introverted women. Those were the ones that I would have spoken towards. It wouldn't have just been brand designers. I really loved packaging, so it would have been packaging designers. So it's a lot more focused. And the reason you do this is because your messaging becomes really, really clear. And of course, I provided sales coaching. So anyone who has worked with me, and if you see my content, you know I have a very wide breadth of expertise. Lead generation, sales, money mindset. I've done so many different things within the business. But sales is where I specialize in, and that's only for the purpose of being niche. All right. So then what? Once you've done that, what do you do with that? Well, once you've identified who it is that you really want to work with, it's time to do some market research. Market research is so undervalued. Now we have AI and you can get a lot of data and information quickly, but it's not necessarily accurate because it's based on poor research that has been done before. I want you to understand your people. You need to understand the people you want to serve. So market research doesn't mean just looking and seeing what everyone is doing. It actually means going to your customer, interviewing them, and hearing from them what they actually say, the language they use in order to describe what they do, how they feel about things, their emotional connection, their pains that they feel, the desires that they want, all of these things. You'll find that out through having an interview. When you do these interviews, you transcribe them. And now using AI, you can do so many delicious things by feeding it all into the AI and ask it to analyze it. That's how we want to utilize AI, not by asking it, well, if you are in skincare producing vegan products for young teens, that's a niche, what would they be saying? You may get some data, but you might not get the relevant data for you. So doing the interviews, feeding AI with the transcripts is going to give you lots of information to help you get the messaging. And messaging is a language you're going to use in your content to attract the clients. And this messaging is crucial to get the clients as well, because you're going to be able to show them that you understand them. You will be able to exhibit authority. You're going to be able to gain their trust. And in so doing, they will be one step closer to wanting to work with you. Once you've done the market research, based on the responses they give, you're going to be able to determine the marketing plan. When you have the marketing plan, you just have to execute on that. When executed, you'll be in a much better place to actually get your clients. So the steps you want to take after listening to this is not to just move on to another video. Go away and think about, what is the niche that I want to serve? And if you're multi-passionate and you're having resistance towards this, there are many different ways. As a multi-passionate, you can be successful and still niche. It is not limiting. It is really not limiting. You just need to look at it as a strategy. And when you do, you'll realize how many doors it will open up for you. So do pick a niche, do your market research, create your new messaging, and then form a marketing plan. After you've done that, it's time to execute. If you enjoyed the content, please subscribe and share with a fellow friend who may need this. Thank you for watching.